Hello and welcome everyone to episode number 7 of the MK Mobile Podcast, a podcast where you can fill your ears with everything Mortal Kombat Mobile related. I am your host, GTG, and I am so excited for you to listen to this episode because I got a chance to sit down and talk to one of the senior designers for the game, Mick. We covered everything from how he got into game development, what some of his favorite characters and updates that he got to help with were, what his current roles and responsibilities are with the game right now, as well as getting an exclusive look into what will be happening in the next update and future updates for the game. So sit back and relax everyone and take a listen while we go behind the combat with none other than Mick. First of all, I just wanted to say, when I started, or when I even just had the thought of this podcast a year or two ago, my goal was to be able to reach out and talk to just the amazing players that, or well, not only just the amazing players that are involved in this game, but also just the amazing minds like yourself that are behind the game. So I really appreciate you taking the time out of your day to, allow us to be able to sit down and do that. So thank you.
Absolutely. I mean, it's so much fun, this community in general. Just
right.
It's a game that's over 25 years old, and
right.
It just brings a lot of people together.
It does.
Really fun.
It does, and it's taken me. So I've been playing. I didn't bring out my consecutive days count, but it's up there. And I've been playing, and it just really hit me within the last year and a half that the game is super fun. But what's even better, or what's even more of an experience for me, is just being able to connect all over the world. I mean, the last podcast I did was with 2 people overseas. And it's really neat that we have this shared interest in this really fun game, and it's brought people from all over the world together to talk about. So, it's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. I never thought in my life that I would be doing something like this. So, with that, I think we can just get started. And how I normally like to start with new guests is just to kind of get a past history of you or the guest and Mortal Kombat. So, like, for instance, how did you get introduced to Mortal Kombat? Like, what was your favorite game growing up?
Okay, so I was introduced, it was like a happen chance. So I was at a video store, and I don't know if anyone remembers what video stores were, but
you have to leave the house.
Yeah, you had to leave the house to rent something. Oh my gosh. So, like, in the back of our store, our video store, there was a little tiny arcade. And, since we lived in Chicagoland area, we would always get the stuff from Midway. And that was awesome because, NBA Jam was there.
Mm-hmm.
Pinball machines would show up, worked on Williams nearby, and it was fantastic. But the one day I got introduced to MK, I was like, I'm going to go home. My mom's probably wants me there for dinner. We didn't have cell phones.
Right.
We didn't have cell phones. So, I had to figure she wanted me home. So it was pouring outside, and I was like, I'm going to wait this out. And then a delivery truck shows up, and they roll out of the back a freaking MK1 cabinet.
Wow.
Bring it right into the arcade. And I'm like, what is this thing? What is this thing? They turn it on. It turned out I'm watching the attract screen. I'm like, oh my God, these characters look so good. Like, because the only kind of digitized stuff you'd seen before was like Pit Fighter.
Right.
And Pit Fighter looks like Pit Fighter, which doesn't look as great as MK did and the work that they put into it.
Yeah.
So it was like, oh my God. And I had no quarters left. I spent all my quarters on whatever game I was playing there. And so I was just sitting there staring at the attract screen, and it was like an amazing moment for me. And I actually immediately left. I ran out into the rain and ran home to get a roll of quarters. So
that's awesome. That's so cool. I remember going to, we had Tilt and we had Aladdin. These were different arcades around where I live, and again, I would show up without any money because we're just cruising through the mall. But the traction around those cabinet games, I mean, there would be like 10, 15 people just hovered around it trying to peek in and see what was going on, especially for the Mortal Kombat game. It was very memorable. Mine was similar with the MK1 cabinet. We were staying at a hotel, and I went over there and was just checking this thing out, and I was like, I thought I was getting pretty good, at playing. And then a kid came up and just demolished me, and I'm like, lost that one. So then I really didn't get back into it until Ultimate Mortal Kombat 3 came out for the Genesis, and then I really got back into it. So that was my process of getting into Mortal Kombat. So
that's amazing. I love hearing the genesis of everyone's discovery of this.
Yep.
Shout out to Aladdin's Castle. I miss those.
The arcades.
The old the arcade,
Yeah,
right? Yeah,
yep.
Aladdin's Castle.
Yep. Every once in a while, I'll stumble across the old coin. Like I'll find one laying around somewhere that that they use. It has the lamp on there and everything. So awesome.
It's
Well,
here.
we'll just move right along. And so now we kind of know your history on Mortal Kombat the game. So what made you want to pursue getting into game development?
So this is the most, people hate my answer. I never wanted to be a game developer. I love playing games, and at some point I heard, oh, you can test games for a living, and that's your job.
Right.
Oh my god, I wanted to be a baseball player, or
Sure.
I wanted to test games. And so what happened was, in my little path was, there was a local game development studio called High Voltage Software, and they're still around right now. And I was reading their website, and I was like, oh wow, this place is nearby. Oh look, they have a game designer position. I can do that, right? Anybody can make a game. So for some reason they interviewed me. They just I was way underqualified, but I went in and I miserably failed that interview. It was awful. I felt like a complete joke when it happened. It was funny. So fast forward a year. I was actually going to go work at Visual Concepts out in, God, I think they were in north of the Bay, north of San Francisco.
Okay.
And I actually got a call from High Voltage again, and they're like, hey, we don't want you to be a game designer, but we'd like you to come in for QA.
Oh, okay.
And so I was like, whoa, okay. So I pumped the brakes, because I didn't really want to move to California.
Right.
Even though I did. I used to live out there. But I wanted to stay local. I had a bunch of things going on.
Sure.
Anyways, so I went in, I took the job as QA. I got to really learn the process and get involved and understand what's going on with it. And just, I grew such a respect for what the developers were doing, the artists, the designers, engineers. And then just to quickly move through this, I eventually became the QA manager at High Voltage.
Okay.
And funny thing is, I still wanted to do QA for a living, but I was looking through, we had this HR folder that, we had to look at applicants, and they had mine in there from 2 years prior when I interviewed for the designer position. And, they had all the notes from the guy that interviewed me. And as I had gotten to work at High Voltage, I got to understand who this man was and what kind of work he had done too. His name was Tom Dowd, and he's not dead. His name is Tom Dowd.
Okay.
So
the name sounds familiar for some reason.
Yeah, he worked on a number of games, and he taught as well. But I read his notes, and he had so much good things to say about me and about my brain and about how I talked about gaming and development, that he saw a lot of potential in me. And then I thought to myself, I was like, hey, maybe I can do something with this.
Sure.
And we actually had a design test in-house at High Voltage that it was for MK Armageddon on the Wii.
Wow.
And we had to design a control scheme, and that was kind of like my design test to get into game dev and become a designer. And I think I did okay.
Yeah.
But, I didn't hear anything for a while, but then they came back and said, hey, we really liked what you did, and we'd like to offer you a game design position, and so I moved forward.
That's awesome.
And ever since then, I got this real bug and drive and desire inside me.
Right. I love hearing people's stories of where they were and where they are now. And also, you hit on a really neat point too, is by working there, you really learned the different layers, it sounds like, of the company. Because I think a lot of people, they think of, I want to be a game designer, and they think that that's all they're going to do. And maybe they don't know all the layers that go into the big piece that makes a game, whereas you kind of have to be in that position to understand all that. So that's pretty cool. That's neat. My history, well, I'm not a game dev, but I just recently found I used to draw out Super Nintendo worlds on a piece of paper, and I just found a whole stack of them. So my son and I are currently going through on Mario Maker and recreating my old maps, or trying to translate that into the technology that's available now. So it's pretty interesting.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
What a great tool to have.
Oh
nowadays,
yeah. He's actually very interested. He's actually confronted me and asked me, he wants to learn how to build Minecraft worlds and get into that. So we're looking into that too. But again, he's only 7, so he's got a lot of growing up to do before we get going that far. But
yeah, but you start him early, right?
yeah,
right?
exactly. If he's got the interest, I want to cultivate that and let it grow.
Sure.
So okay, awesome. So so we kind of got the story of you with Mortal Kombat, how you kind of got into the development, game development area. What's your like a brief history of your time spent at NetherRealm?
I'll try to keep this brief as my answers are kind of.
Go ahead, take your time. Take your time.
Man, it's another crazy story. I was at a company called Robomoto. We worked on Tony Hawk's Pro Skater HD. That was like the last thing I worked on.
Okay.
And I got laid off. The company was closing down, and so I was like, oh God, I got to stay local. My wife was pregnant. Our daughter was due in 6 months.
Yep.
And so I was like, I'm not jumping all over the country. So
Right.
I was like, all right, well, I'll throw a Hail Mary and see if I can get a QA position in Netherrealm, because they didn't have anything open in design. And it's funny enough, when I was QA manager at High Voltage, actually the QA manager from Netherrealm, Warren Wilkes, a fantastic guy. He was actually, we worked together, and 10 years later, I'm like, hey man, can you help me out? So
got
sometimes
connections.
it's who you know.
Yeah, you got connections. That's right. Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, he knew I wasn't a fool either.
Sure.
So that was cool.
Right.
So I ended up doing QA on Injustice 1.
Awesome.
Console.
Yep.
On console, and come around, you got to kind of decide who's going to stay on and help with the DLC, and that was I got ability to stay on for there because he knew a design position opened up, and he was going to try to keep me there so I can move towards that.
Yeah.
Interview. So I got to work on the DLC, and I actually got to do a few things game design wise within the Injustice 1 DLC and some of the end content. So shout out to Nick DeCastro and Brian LeBaron for letting me use some of my crazy ideas.
I hope you're listeling.
I hope so. Big props to those guys. They're both really great.
It might be one of those 90 downloads. So, well, that's awesome.
So I guess I'll power through this, but
go for it.
So I got hired on. I worked on the mobile team. Worked on the Injustice 1 cinematics.
Yep.
And I helped get those things ready, convert them from console. Arkham Origins, MKX Mobile launched. When we were called MKX Mobile.
Yeah.
And then helped on Injustice 2, and then eventually, they needed someone to kind of take over MK Mobile, and that was me and JJ at the time. So I was really working on the character designs, and JJ was working on the gameplay and the meta systems, and so
awesome. So it was like you guys. I mean, I'm sure there was a big team, but you guys were kind of at that core of that. Sounds like, or
yeah, we were the two designers on it. We added another guy later when Feats of Strength came around.
Yep.
Just because it was a massive feature and we just needed the help.
It was. But, I still remember the promo that you guys did for that, and I can't remember who was talking about, but just the amount of extra work that was put into putting all that content into the game. You guys were like, that was a lot. Like,
it was really mobile's first, this is our first original content, and so it was like a ton of work for us to kind of get that going.
Right.
It was very, very exciting times, but so we finished that, and I worked on Injustice 1 for a long time, kind of took that over, and then I took over MK Mobile for a while when JJ moved on to bigger and better things.
Yeah.
And then so I ended up handing that off the day-to-day dev implementation after 2.3 shipped, so I could focus on other needs within the mobile team.
Awesome. Okay. Well, that's kind of brings me into what we are now, and you don't have to go into too much detail. What kind of are your current roles at NetherRealm?
So my title is senior designer.
Okay.
And my responsibilities are very fluid right now. So I wear a lot of hats.
Right.
So what I do is I do a lot of character passive buff, debuff prototyping, and I kind of document that stuff in the wiki for the team to use. So I get to kind of really stay drilled in on characters.
Right. Yeah. I would imagine
stuff I really enjoy.
Yep. I would imagine.
And then, And then I advise on other features and characters, and I help out with the mobile updates.
Awesome.
Whenever I can, whenever I'm needed. So
awesome.
Oh, and I document a lot.
Do you? The fun stuff.
Wiki.
Yeah, that's awesome. Well, so you've obviously worked on a bunch of characters. So what? Just some of the characters from the past. What were some of your favorite ones that you've helped develop and to push out to the masses to play with?
Yeah, I mean some of the tentpole ones. Slasher Jason was really awesome because that really shook up the meta with his resurrections.
Definitely
teamed up with Quan Chi at the time.
Yep.
And then cosplay Jackie was really a big moment for me because I really got to kind of develop this character that had a lot of tools in her belt and and kind of bring me to the other point. I really wanted to make some like standout women characters. And we had a couple of women characters that were a little bit stronger, but I really wanted to shake up the meta with them. So cosplay Jackie, getting her rain costume in there was a lot of fun.
That was cool. Yeah. In fact, and then that was you had a couple characters she could change into that weren't in the game yet too. I think who was the other? Tremor? I think wasn't added yet at that point, so you could kind of play as Tremor. And then Rain as well, like you were saying. So that was cool.
That's kind of cool.
That character is still one of my favorite go-tos just because of, I mentioned this in the last podcast, but you really have to look at the class that you're up against and know what outfit does what to those classes. And then also you can kind of add the gear and accessories in to help strengthen against certain classes. But that character was an amazing drop when she came out. That was really cool. So as well as Slasher Jason, like you were saying, because Undead Hunter wasn't around yet, and Jasons were like coming back to life everywhere, and we're just like, what do we do? So those are pretty cool characters. So
yeah, and then like the final one, like the things that I really like when I kind of took over as design. It was really adding some of those kind of MK gameplay secrets to some of the characters' abilities. And I know, we're a collectible card game, so a lot of the interest in getting a character revolves around, what's in their passive ability, their special attacks too, and things like Liu Kang's Dragon and Nightmare Jason's like hidden attacks and Day of the Dead Jade's like hidden attacks, based on conditions and things like that. Were kind of like my gift to the community for people who invest in these characters and kind of get to discover like this kind of secret technical characters and really evolve gameplay in the conversation and the community.
I'll tell you that Day of the Dead Jade special or secret attack has saved me a bunch of times because she gains that health back. So
the health,
and I always you mentioned it's like a card game at the core, and I've always thought it would be fun to actually somehow convert that to an actual like physical card game somehow. I'm not sure, but I'm kind of into those not Dungeons and Dragons so much, but like Hero Quest was a game that came out, which I found really fun. I always thought it'd be cool to try to change this game into something like that, but there's just more ideas that get scrambled up here. So
I feel you, man.
Yeah. So awesome. Updates, releases that you got to help with, any that really stand out, any that were some of your favorites, so to speak?
Yeah, I've got like 3 off the top of my head.
Okay.
1.9 was when I first like took over the character design.
Okay.
And everyone was like off on Injustice 2, and I had to do 9 characters in that update. It was the Triborg update.
Oh yeah.
The first set of Diamond characters. It was bananas.
Yeah.
And I was really tested. So I'm super proud of myself moment because I actually got that stuff done in time.
Yeah. That would be a lot of grinding, I'm sure, especially because I do remember that update. That was a lot of content came out.
Yeah. And then 25th anniversary 1.15 was amazing. Relic Hunt.
Yes.
Shao Kahn. The first mid-match kill that you could do, and he really shook up. Like, it was fun reading the forums at the time and saw people just scared to death of Shao Kahn walking out with 2 bars of power.
Yep. Yeah, he was a game changer. I mean, immediately was a game changer at that. So the other, before this is my nerd part talking, but the other mid-match brutality would have been Boss Aaron Black with his Wheel of Fate. So that was kind of, but not playable, obviously, but Sorry, I had my nerd moment there. So.
No, yeah, that was awesome. Actually, I wish when you killed somebody, we kept that around. Like,
it was pretty cool. Well, it came.
The
It did.
explosion.
Yeah, it was pretty. Yeah, because I don't think it's ever come back. The Wheel of Fate's come back, but that graphic hasn't returned. But yeah, good memories. That's one of the fun things when I get to talk to people all over the world. It's fun to just to like reflect on those experiences going, playing the game from its start to it is now. It's fun just to like talk about those days and what's changed and all that stuff. So so any other updates, releases that you can think of that kind of really just stand out?
Yeah, I mean the other one for me was just 2.0 was a big deal, but
right.
The Feats of Strength update was a really big one for me. I drove a lot of that. I drove a lot of the what do we call them? Victory poses. Yep.
Yep.
Yeah, victory chances. And I drove a lot of that. I motion captured all that. I planned it.
That's
all.
Awesome.
And so it was a lot of work, and it was a ton of fun. It was like my moment. JJ's like, you're hanging yourself, man. You're not gonna finish this. And then, I got it done, and it was pretty cool. So
yeah.
I was pretty proud of that.
Yeah. Well, it's a really neat addition to the game, honestly. It really is, because it's just, you can really customize everything even more than what the equipment would let you do. So, so we had, moving on, we're moving on actually pretty fast. Last year, we had quite a few characters come out. Which one, was there a favorite that was dropped for you, that the character that came out last year? I know I have mine, but...
Yeah, I've listened to some of your podcasts already.
Okay.
And I think it really boils down to Noob,
right?
MK11 Noob.
Yeah.
I was so happy when we got him. We were actually planning that for 2.0 shortly after 2.0 launch, but it just got pushed. And I was just so happy to get him out and getting his shadows or his revenants kind of working within his combat, and seeing his crush or his fatal blow. Oh man, it was just it was like a deep sigh for me.
He's just such a fluid character and fun character to play. And he just looks good aesthetically. He's an awesome character to play. The only bummer for me was now I can't predict any more Noob confirmed things, so I gotta figure out what's next.
Dude, I've died so much. I've done so many spit takes watching your videos that just popped up, man. Oh my god, it's so funny.
It's fun when I do have the free time, which isn't much anymore. I like to try to just throw in silly videos just to lighten the mood for everyone. But I agree. Noob was mine as well. So moving on, we are now at the point in this podcast where we're going to do Test Your Might. So I have, I have 3 characters. We don't have to do them all. I put them in difficulty. So I have easy difficulty, hard, and then elder. So
I'm terrified.
Well, the first one's easy. You're going to get this. I'll just read the passive, and I can read the description if you need it. And then you just have to guess which character. So the passive's name is Collector. And the description is, once per match, this character can change on tag-in into different ninjas, each giving her a unique combat effect and very high bonuses against a character type.
All right, cosplay Jack.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Oh, thank goodness. See, my heart is racing.
So if I were on your end, I'd be sweating bullets right now, because I've been in your shoe before where people ask me questions. So I try to make it like easy, and honestly, you can phone a friend. We can do So this next one is the hard difficulty. The passive name is Sharp as a Whip. The description is, when this character successfully blocks any basic attacks, there is a chance he counters. Kung Jin, Cassie Cage, and Jackie Briggs gain 30% damage, health, and critical hit damage when on the same team.
I think that's Shiryu Takeda.
You got it, yeah. Yep, that's it. I could hear it. Okay, this one's gonna be hard. All right. And I can even give you the class of the card if you need. So, the passive name is Survival of the Fittest, and the description is plus 5% health for Outworld teammates, and that's it. I'll give you a clue. It's a bronze card.
Oh yeah. I was trying to think of what of like it's not a human, it's a creature. Blah, blah, blah,
You're right.
What's that guy's name? Saurian.
You got it. Yeah. Dang, you passed all of those. Passed every...
I bet your listeners are gonna be like, come on, those are softballs.
Oh, believe me, if I was on your side, I would probably fail every single one just because I would be a nervous wreck, you know. So.
Well, thank you.
Yeah. No. Good job. That was awesome. So that kind of wraps things up. Is like I said, just a quick video. I like to keep them kind of short if I can. Makes it more of a easier listening experience. But I like one thing I really like to do with my channel is like make like update predictions videos. That's like one thing it's kind of always been at the core of my videos and everything. And I think the listeners and viewers really like those as well. So it's probably a long shot, but is there any chance you could give us like any idea of what's coming next?
Oh man, you put me on the spot.
Yeah, sorry.
Okay, all right. Let me think here. I want to think of things that Carly won't kill me. Let's see. Okay, all right. Yeah, all right. I think I can give you a few drops of info.
Really?
Here.
Okay, all right.
I think these are probably safe. Okay, so we're going to allow players to ascend a new tower. And this new tower has some of my favorite rewards yet.
Really? Okay.
And well, the name of the tower is the Sorcerer's Tower.
Whoa! Seriously, Sorcerer's Tower. Okay, all right.
Sorcerer's Tower. Yeah.
Dang.
Okay. All right. All right. Let me see.
More?
All right. I think I can give you some more.
Seriously. Okay. All right. I'm all ears.
All right. Let's see what's in the forecast here. All right. So we've got a certain character in the game already. He's been training his leg in the combat off season, and he's going to finally get to use it on the combat pitch.
Okay.
So to speak. And that's Shang Tsung. He's got a new brutality that's being added.
Oh, sweet. Oh, that's going to be awesome.
And I'll let you all kind of try to figure out which one that is.
Oh my gosh, yeah, I'm like looking at my PS4 now. I'm going to fire that up and go through his. Oh my gosh, that's awesome.
And speaking of Shang Tsung, I think this is probably a safe one to say too. I think the community would probably be pretty happy.
Okay.
He is going to be getting his MK11 Fatal Blow.
Oh, nice.
Yeah,
very nice.
Just the opponent. He'll be getting his one
with all the different ninjas. Oh my gosh, that's awesome. That is awesome. Wow.
I know a lot of people have been asking for that.
Yeah.
So I'm glad we're finally able to deliver.
Dang! Wow. That's gonna be cool.
How about one more thing?
Okay. Yeah.
Are we okay?
Yeah.
Are you okay?
Yeah. I'm not turning anything off.
Time? Okay. All right. I'll give you one more. All right. This isn't so much as direct, but I'll say we're going to bring a new character who synergizes really well with an oft talked about group of characters right now.
Okay.
I see a lot of people talk about these characters on the forum and asking for more, and this character will synergize well. So I'll just leave that there.
Okay.
Put a pin on the community board there, and then we're also going to have a brand new character, never playable in the game, but they have technically appeared in the game already some way or another. So I'll leave that one there.
Oh man, I'm gonna do some digging now. Oh, that is awesome.
And I can feel Carly's aura closing in.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna stop right now. I'm gonna stop there.
Wow. Well, thank you so much. That is awesome. Oh, I can't wait. I cannot wait. Cannot wait. Yeah. Very cool. Very cool. Well, I wasn't expecting that, so that's pretty awesome.
Well, so happy to drop some info.
Yeah. Well, you guys, that's amazing news. I cannot wait for this next update. Just to wrap up, first of all, thank you, Mick. That was a lot of fun.
Absolutely.
A lot of fun.
Absolutely.
Just to wrap up, where can people find you? Your socials, if you want to, you can throw those out.
Sure. You can find the game MK Mobile on Twitter. MK Mobile Game, all one word. That's the at. Facebook at MK Mobile Game. You can download us on Google Play Store, Apple Play Store for any new folks jumping in on your podcast. And you can find me. I'm Cactus Pack, CACTUSPACK on Twitter. And if you ever see me in MK Mobile on the leaderboards, which you probably won't because I'm
You're busy.
You guys are yeah, I'm busy. It's I love Cassie, and that's a heart emoji. Parentheses and a 3.
Yep. Very cool.
So, and then
Very cool. I think I have. I've seen your tag or I've seen your profile name probably just on like videos that you've put out, or I think you've used your profile for like update videos or something like that. Because I do remember seeing that at one point, but it was a long time ago.
Yeah, I posted a picture on Twitter of something.
That's what it was.
I got some sort of drop, and someone put me on blast for my account not being at level 60. I quick and went and then.
You're like,
I play on like a dev account. So
That's awesome. Well, again, thanks so much. I had a lot of fun, and hopefully we can do something like this again in the future. So.
Absolutely.
Awesome.
Absolutely. All the best, and stay safe out there.
Will do. Thanks. Thanks for listening, everyone. I hope you enjoyed this episode of the MK Mobile Podcast. I want to thank Mick again for taking time out of his busy schedule and sitting down with me and sharing his history and experience with this awesome game, as well as giving us all an exclusive look at what to expect in future updates for MK Mobile. And of course, I want to give a special thanks to all of you, my listeners. If you're new to this, the MK Mobile Podcast can be found on Apple Podcasts as well as Spotify. And if you like this content, don't forget to subscribe to me on YouTube as well as follow me on Twitter at GameTime Gaming 1, where you'll find MK Mobile information, gameplay, and more.